All right, all right. So, what we're going to do is we will go over the things from yesterday that we covered, just in case anybody missed those, and then we'll dig into today. So, the first thing I want to do here is I'll actually post, let's see, right on the live itself, and I'll give you guys the link here for the swipe file from yesterday. So I gave you guys keyword alerts, and I gave you guys the rules that we use specifically for our group here. So I'm just going to add these. Hey Jason, hey Chris, what's going on, guys? All right, so this is the swipe file that I gave you guys yesterday, and we're going to review everything that we went over. All right, so yesterday what we did was we started a group from scratch, and I went over some key things on setting up a free group. Some of these I do similar to other people, but others I do a little bit differently. So we went over naming your group, and we said, when you name your free group, you're always going to want to name that according to what newbies are actually searching. You as an expert are going to search different terms when you're looking for something online versus when you're setting up your free group to bring in your leads. You're going to want to search the exact terms that they're looking for, from their level of awareness. So that's why we said just simply launch a funnel. And if you wanted to personalize it, we did hosted by Becky as the one for this specific example, because you can certainly add your name at the end, but you want to make sure the keywords at the very front of the funnel are going to make sure that it pops up high on the list when people are searching. And then we also took that a step further, and we went in and gave this group a custom URL. So we called this launch a funnel. And basically, that's super helpful for you to keep that as short as possible, because, you want to be able to put that link on your profile, and you want to be able to, give it to people when they ask you. But it's also important for it to be easy to remember, because people are going to tell their friends, hey, there's this cool group, and if the URL is super simple, then they can refer somebody with or without the link, and you're going to get a lot more people coming in there. So it's really best to just keep this as simple as possible, and you never want to leave it with that default URL, which is like a whole host of numbers and things like that, which would be impossible for somebody to get back to your group unless they actually had the link. So keeping this URL super simple and on the point with those key terms and the actual, the title of your group, that's super helpful. Then what we were saying too was that when you're setting up everything on your free group with the tags, go ahead and think about it from the perspective of a newbie as well. So we had said if a newbie was just getting into funnels, they might actually search, website. So that's something you want to think about. They might still be searching things like, landing page or lead pages or all those sorts of things. So you get up to 5 tags that you can use. So go ahead and think about, the top 5 tags that you would use if you're a newbie. And in this particular case with the sample, you're looking for a funnel. So it might be lead pages, landing pages, website, squeeze page, that sort of stuff. And you're going to want to think about that from a newbie perspective. Or even when I was just typing in, ClickFunnels, other things pop up too. There's the Funnel Fix It and things like that. So oftentimes too, you want to think about associated terms or associated companies. So for instance, we know there's ClickFunnels, Infusionsoft, all these different companies. You can add those to your tags as well. So think about competitors and think about newbie terms, and that'll help you get started to get the right tags. And basically those tags are what kind of fuel the organic suggestions that that Facebook would actually give when someone is looking for a specific topic. So that can be super, super helpful if you get those right. And Actually, one thing I like to remind people too, with these tags as well, is that there isn't always a direct line. So there might be a relationship that your potential group member has with something else, that you want to dig a little bit deeper. So let's just say, for instance, maybe I would put like Stripe, because no matter what platform people use, they're going to have some sort of payment gateway. So that might be another link that you could use as well to kind of get some organic suggestions from Facebook. All right. So we didn't really get into the description yesterday, and I wanted to go over that a little bit. Really, people get they get a little crazy with like descriptions that are, way too long, and you just want it to be simple and to the point. This group that we're talking about right now is just a free group to get your leads in here. So be very clear about what you're teaching in here. This is what people are going to see before they even join your group. So you got to remember that as well. You could put this whole long story here, but they're only going to see what's above the fold, which is about a line or two. So keep it simple, to the point, what you're teaching. And, if you want to be a little more verbose, you're going to do that with your welcome post and the actual tagged announcement that you have in the group that people will see once they get in. But if they're just kind of peeking in, then you want to keep that super short and to the point of what they're learning. And that kind of goes back to what we were talking about yesterday too, is that when you're doing a free group to get your leads in, I actually recommend the opposite of what most people do. And I say to start the group as public. Once you've got a couple hundred people, you can go ahead and switch it to private. But if it's public in the beginning, people get to do that little preview to kind of see that there's good stuff in there and it's a group they'd want to join. And then after that, you can go ahead and switch it over to private. And having it public is not going to affect the questions that people get asked when they come in. So, yesterday we were talking about how to set it up so that you've got your questions that people get asked before they get approved into the group. Let's see, where did we put that? Rules, here we go, membership questions. So the questions that we mentioned, adding ones that are very specific as far as making sure that you're pre-qualifying that they're a good lead. Hey, do you want to launch a funnel? Have you ever launched one? Things like that are specific, to the focus of your group. Keep it simple. You don't want it to be complicated. The simple yes or no is good. And then the third one, you want them to give you their email in exchange for giving them some sort of value, whether it's a video or a guide or whatever. So if you have your group public, it's not going to affect being able to collect this data, so you can still collect it. And then the really cool thing that we were talking about yesterday as well is if you approve a member, and let's just say you're using Group Funnels or Group Convert, and you're collecting that data, you don't even really need the email. So it doesn't even really matter if they give you that email, because what's going to happen is when you go ahead and do all those approvals, you're going to be able to collect the Facebook IDs of all the members that come in, and then you can run simple retargeting ads when you're trying to warm up your group members and basically turn them into paying customers. So if you have the email, it's great, but if you don't, you can still warm them up, send them up your value ladder and turn them into paying customers. So that's not really something that you have to really worry about there. All right, so let's just make sure we didn't miss anything else with the basics of just setting up the group itself. Like I said, we want to make this one visible, because this is just a free group that we're getting people in here. Yesterday, we went and made this a social learning group. And what we said is that it really doesn't matter what you're selling, whether it's physical products, digital products, any of that. A lot of us also have e-commerce groups where we're selling, physical products. You still want to do social learning, whether or not you're actually teaching any course material or anything like that, because what the units do is they guide your members through your group. So you're going to start them off by letting them know about your group culture, what's expected of them, and you can be giving them resources, videos, articles, whatever it is that you want them to go through, and the knowledge base that you want them to have. They don't have to be something that you created. They can be outside resources that are just foundational things that you want them to know. So I pretty much recommend the social learning function no matter what, because those units really, really help you. And I think I showed you guys as well before that now Facebook has this new feature where it's going to remind your members to actually go through the units. And let me see, I'll give you guys another sample in one of these other groups, because we've got it in the ClickFunnels group, and then I think the other sample I showed you was in the brand warfare group, which was really cool, where when someone is going through your units and they stop at a certain point, Facebook is actually going to remind them to go ahead and pick up where they left off, which is fantastic for you, because normally that'd be something that we were trying to accomplish with our email sequence. So see here, I went right to the group and it's telling me, okay, continue to unit 1, resources, how and where to get help. Now this is pretty cool, because this is a great example to show that I had previously completed unit 1, because I'm the one that put it together, but I went and added new items to unit 1, and now Facebook sees that I haven't completed all those. So if you've got members in your group and you go ahead and add some new videos and some new posts to a specific unit, then Facebook is going to say, hey, you need to go back there and you need to go through that unit, which is really, really cool. So you can put up a post to let them know, but they're going to get reminders every time they go into the group that there's a section that they missed out on and that they need to go ahead and take care of. So when your members are scrolling through the group as well, like I've only got to scroll through a few posts here, and then I get this, which is the suggested units. So Facebook knows any of the spots where there are units that I didn't click done. So this is basically helping bring your members through all the units in your group, any information you want them to learn, which is fantastic, whether you have a physical product or a digital product, to get them through all the steps of everything that they need to learn and ascend up to the next level. So they're going to get these and they can pop in anywhere they want. It says I haven't started this one. It says to continue this one. So every time they're going into your group, they're getting that reminder, which is awesome. So this is why you really want to do the units no matter what. So Chris was saying, let's see, you made it a private and a public. Cool. Absolutely. Yeah. So what I recommend too is you would make your group private after you have at least a couple hundred members, because then people will definitely join whether or not they can do the preview. And then of course, when you have your paid group, you're going to want to make that private. And there are certain parameters that are going to be a little bit different. So that, when you have your paid group, that's when you're going to name it accordingly with the products that you're selling. And a few things are going to be different. But we'll do a different live to go over how the settings are different when it's a paid group for people that have already become your customers. This one we're doing is kind of like a basic way to give back value, ascend people, and get them into your value ladder of becoming a paid customer, and offering them the solutions that you have. All right. So a few other things that you want to make sure too. We didn't get to these yesterday. You really don't want to allow pages to join your group. So you're going to go ahead and change that. With all the different types of groups that I've run, we just find that there's really no value from people joining as pages, because it just, it masks who they are. And the whole point of these communities is, authentic communication and being able to help them. Not to mention that those aren't their main Facebook profiles anyways. So they actually have to separately, log in as their page to view your group content. So it really wouldn't be benefiting you as an owner and your engagement to allow pages in your group. So I really just say no to that unless you had a weird case where maybe, you were running like a local group, that was related to some sort of admin in your town or something like that. If you were the Chamber of Commerce and you were adding different business pages, then maybe I'd say yes to that. Let's see. And anyone in your group you want posting permissions, of course you want that. Post approval for a brand new free group, you want people to interact as much as possible. So you definitely want everybody to be able to post whenever they want, because we really want to get that engagement up. What's going to happen is when Facebook sees that you're continually, getting new members in your group every day, and your members are, interacting, participating, engaging with you and each other, then it's going to suggest it to more people organically. So you definitely want to allow them to post. The only time that we do post approval is when a group is really, really big and you have to be careful and monitor it. Or sometimes where if it's a group that, there can be a lot of spam and things like that. In our meetings with Facebook as well, they said that, what they like to promote too is that for us as group owners, sometimes you do have to take a break. Say it's Christmas or different holidays and things like that, and you want to make sure that nothing crazy happens in your group, because Facebook is basically saying, us as group owners, we need to set the example for our group members that you have to take care of yourself and you'll be there for them, but you also need to rest. So what you can say is, hey, I'll be off for a couple days for the holiday. We'll have post approval on. We'll definitely get to those, but just for a couple days while I'm out, everything will be on post approval. And that way you can just make sure no junk slips into your group. So that can be super helpful to turn that off and on as you need it, so nothing slips in. And yesterday we did go over the keyword alerts. I gave you guys that swipe file so you can take a look at that. Just to recap super quick on that one. With the keyword alerts, you're always going to want to have the names of yourself and your management team, all their names. You're going to want to have help, support, things like that. You can have positive terms so that you can collect testimonials. So you do things like great, awesome, thank you, and you can go ahead and collect those and take your screenshots for testimonials for group members that are really enjoying your group. And then that way you can also post that to show other members that there's good stuff happening in your group, or to show it outside the group to say, hey, this is a good place to be. And then here it is. We'll pull this back up. It might be a little bit hard to see because I just popped a screenshot in here, but basically we do a bunch of other ones as well, where we do terms like admin, mod, ticket, support. We use anything related to a potential website. So we've got .com, .io, HTTPS. The whole point is that you want to make sure anytime your members are posting a link, you or your team is going to get a notification. And that way you can make sure that it's a link, if you are allowing links, that it's something valuable that's helping the community. And if not, you can get it out of there pretty quick. So the other thing we mentioned as well that's really neat is that you and anyone else who is on your team is going to get the alerts. So we'll go and we'll use this group as an example. So anyone who is on the team is going to go ahead and see these alerts. So for instance, we've got the alerts here in this group, and myself and anyone else who's a moderator or an admin is going to go ahead and see these. They'll come to their phone, and what'll happen is you'll come in here and you can decide whether you're going to keep it or you're going to remove it. And if there's nothing, if there's no action that needs to be taken, like for instance, let's just say this person is asking a question and this doesn't need to be removed, that's fine. I can go ahead and hit keep. But in this particular case, I want one of the other team members to go in and answer this. So I'm going to leave this here for them to see. If I wanted to answer it myself, I just go ahead and click post, and I can go ahead in there and answer the question. If, for instance, there was someone who was posting something that was inappropriate, then I'd be able to turn post approval on. I'd be able to remove the person. But honestly, we don't really use the functions from here at all. What we do is we go right into the post or the comment itself. And what you would do, so we've already got somebody that answered this, which is awesome, because Charlie went in there already. So what we would do is we would go ahead and we would remove the post. And when we remove it, we go ahead and we give them feedback why. So this doesn't just help let the member know what was wrong with their post, but it lets us know as a team as well why the post was removed. And I'll show you. That's actually going to pop up right in your admin log. So that's why, so we have admin activity here. So basically, whenever someone removes a post and they give feedback, you're going to see it right here, which is really, really great. Here we go. Here's one that I did, I think. Okay, so this person asked for some help, and you can see that I put a little note that someone on our team had fixed it, and that's why I removed the post. So that way anyone from the team can go ahead and look at that, which is perfect. Okay, let's just see. Yeah, so you can go ahead and take a look at that swipe file and just see all the different terms that we used. The other fun thing too is you can put terms related to, your paid programs. You can put terms related to, what people say when they want to ascend to the next level, things like that. You really kind of want to play with these and use them to your benefit so that you and your team can identify when it is that people need encouragement or they're ready to purchase, or, and basically, anything that you need to be immediately identified to yourself and your team. And as you can see too, there are some other unfortunate things that we have to add in here, like if you want to keep profanity out of your group and stuff like that, you can put those words in there. If you want to get right on it, if someone's upset, make sure those terms are in there. We put things like horrible, bad, stuff like that, upset. Those are kind of indicators that can pop out that there's something that needs to be looked at. And then one other cool thing I wanted to show you as well is that all those testimonials that I was talking about, you can go ahead and put them in a collection in Facebook and save the testimonials related to your group, so that way you can go back to those later. So let's just see. Here we go. Here's the example for the ClickFunnels group. We actually keep a collection of all the positive things that people say about support, so that way we have those. And then we also keep a folder of testimonials of all the awesome things that people say about ClickFunnels in general and what they've accomplished and their proof and all that. So we keep that there. And so, we have that for ClickFunnels. We have that for this group. We have it for the Brand Warfare group. And basically what it does is it makes it so that, you can go ahead and collect that stuff in one area and use it when you need to. And then we've also done that in the ClickFunnels group for support ticket requests, or actually, no, I think it's actually requests for we have feature requests and things like that. So you can be creative. And what you would do is you can just, you can add your team members, so that way anybody from the team can go ahead and add those testimonials in there, and you can start to collect those and use those to help promote your group. Let's see. All right. Perfect. All right, so I think we got most of the basics here. There are some other things too that you want to be careful of. There should be an option to prevent people from starting watch parties in your group. That's definitely something that you want to prevent because they'll share those from other places, and that's not really something you want in your group. Let's see. All right. About. All right. Actually, you know what? Before we go into the about, let's just cover the banner photo and all that. People get a little crazy with these things, and even like you can see here for our group, you can keep this super simple. People can get a little garish with all their links and click here and this and that. Honestly, I prefer that things are kept a little classier, and you can just have your your welcome posts and your announcements where you have the links and the information that people need to watch trainings and get the value that they need. And you can just keep these a bit more simple, so that way members aren't overwhelmed. So basically, I prefer to keep this simple. If you did want to have a link or two, you can certainly have something at the bottom or have the link for your site, your landing page. And in the description, you could add something simple, a link with a description for what kind of value you want to give them. If it's some sort of video or some sort of guide, that can be super, super useful. But just don't go too crazy with these, because what I've found is from managing, quite a few groups, that you don't want to overwhelm people and come off as spammy. You want to be giving them value, and they're going to find the links and the resources that you have in the group. So you really don't have to worry about putting tons and tons of links and calls to action right here in the cover. The other cool thing too is that some people think these are static, and they're not. You can change them as often as you want. I know people are afraid to once they've kind of set like the feel for their community and all that. But let's just say, for instance, the ClickFunnels group is a really great example, because the cover here changes depending on what's being launched. Oh, I went to the wrong place. The cover changes depending on what's being launched. And it's nice because it's not static. Sometimes, there's a certain blindness to the calls of action anyways if you don't ever change the cover. So this cover here in the ClickFunnels group, it changes every couple months depending on, what's going on and what's being promoted. So you want to be flexible with that and kind of rotate it too. It'll keep people actually looking at it and more excited about the things that you have to offer if you actually rotate that. All right. Your description, we already talked about that. We talked about, let's see, even linking to your page, and we said, that's really up to you. I do advocate doing simple retargeting ads and things like that. So we're not really worried about whether or not linking to your group is going to affect your reach. I've never seen any issues with it throttling reach by just simply linking a group to your business page. And then when people are on your business page, they actually get sent over here. So I haven't seen any problems with that. So I really wouldn't worry about that. Let's see. All right, do you guys have any questions with the basic setup? Let's see. Oh, I did want to mention too with the members. So I set this up as a sample for you. A lot of times people run into situations where they might get locked out of their account or locked out of their group. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a backup admin, somebody that you trust. So there are 2 admins in your group. So even if you're getting started and you don't have a team yet, just make sure you pick somebody that you can trust, and you'll have a second admin for the group in case anything ever happens where you're locked out of your account and you can't get into this. Let's see. Oh, let's talk about events too. So this is super important to make sure that you're listing your events here in your group. So what happens is you can actually create a recurring event, and just before the event, your members are going to get a notification. So what you'll do is you'll go in and you'll click custom, and you can select the dates of your event, or you can actually just click weekly. So what I really promote is that you go live once a week. Some people are saying, you have to go live every single day. I really don't advocate having to do it that frequently. You just want to be predictable and for people to know when they can count on you. So if you choose a time to go live every single week, you can go ahead and put that on the calendar for your group. So basically, you just go ahead, you're going to pick your time zone, you're going to pick your dates, and every single week it'll repeat, which is really, really cool. Post permissions, you want those to be anybody because you want people that are in your group to get excited about the event and, to post questions, things like that. But what I would do is right now, if, as you're setting up your group, figure out a time that you can go live each and every week and go ahead and get that on your calendar so your group members know a time that they can count on you and that you'll be there every single week. Ideally, you'd want it to be on Monday or Tuesday so that at the beginning of the week, you can basically have, your topic of the week that you're talking about. And then throughout the rest of the week, you're going to be kind of expanding on that and repurposing what you talked about it during the live and, presenting it to your group in different ways. So that way you can really spend the whole week getting that information across to them and, connecting with everyone and seeing what questions they have before you move on to the topic for the following week. So, definitely if you're setting up your group or if you've already got your free group set up, get in there, pick a time that you can go live each and every week and basically, just set that to go for the rest of the year. So, if I was setting this for the next 6 months, every Tuesday from 11 to 11:30 Eastern, I'd go live in here with the topic of the week and make sure to prep the members beforehand, with a post letting them know whatever questions they have or things they want to talk about. They can let you know. And, then you're all set. Basically, you talk about that topic to the rest of the week and you can give them value. But that's one of the things that you really, really want to do is make sure that you're consistent and you're getting in there and you're going live at a time when your members know, every single week they can expect you to be there. So, all right. Let's see. That should be pretty much it for the basics of the setup. So this took a little bit longer than I thought to go through the basics. So I think we're going to finish up here in just a sec. I just want to show you a few other things. So when it relates to, when you see posts related to group quality, what's going to happen is just if any members in your group post something that violates Facebook standards, Facebook itself will go ahead and take those posts down for you. So they'll get removed from your group. You might get some warnings and things like that, that your group is at risk, but I've never seen any groups closed because of anything like that. All right. So one last thing here is just, let's see, scheduled posts. A lot of group owners forget to use the scheduled posts, and what you can do is you can go ahead in and schedule posts to run every single day on different topics. So you can be promoting your members to have discussions related to your topic of the week. It can be Q&A type posts. It can be theme posts to generate engagement. It can be something fun like we started to do in here and to do some fun memes. And then, that way you really have consistent posts in there. Because 2 to 3 times a day, you really want something to pop up for your members to engage in. And then that way you've got those running and anything else you can do organically to interact with your members and to help answer their questions and give them value. So do you guys have any questions? Because I think maybe we should wrap up. It took a little bit longer than I anticipated just to recap on some of the things from yesterday and talk about a few new things today. So I can answer any questions if you guys have those. And also if you have specifics of additional things that you'd like to talk about tomorrow, you can go ahead and put those questions below. Some of the things that we're going to talk about are setting up your welcome post, doing that pin post, why it's a good idea to have a video for your welcome post, and how you can actually set that up so that the video comes from your business page, and then you'll be able to retarget that for video views, to go ahead and run some ads and create custom audiences and get members right into your group. So we're going to talk about that a little bit tomorrow. So, all right, I think we're going to wrap it up. Just let me know below if you have questions or anything else that you want to talk about tomorrow, and then I'll get ready for that. Have a great day, guys.